It was a quiet evening. I just finished a workout and I got a text from my sensei. Hey, we've just been invited to participate in the annual Budokan demonstration in Tokyo next year. What an incredible opportunity. I was blown away. I'd been struggling for 2 years to overcome long COVID. And finally it felt like this opportunity arose and I was able to go and do it. Sometimes good things happen on the other side of extreme challenges. This is one of them. Let's go on a walk and I'll take you on a little journey through my athletic development for the last 10 or so years, through my history, my athletic training experience, how I got here, and where it's going. Hello, welcome to my channel, The Brave Wolf Way. I wanted to say hello. Welcome. My name's Zach, and this is my introduction. This year I received an incredible opportunity. I've been invited along with 4 other members of my dojo to go to Japan and train with the head of our system there. Before we get to that, I want to take you through a little bit more of my journey. Let's go into the past. But my martial arts journey didn't begin in the dojo. It began out here, on the soccer field. I'd won a soccer scholarship to the US. I was living my dream, but I hurt my knees. I had MCL strains and extensive medial meniscus tears in both of them. So I came home, had surgery, and forfeit my scholarship to recover. It was about a year later, after suffering several other injuries while playing soccer, that I discovered a dojo when my dad was doing research for a book that he was writing. I was injured, I was distressed, I was in pain, and I was facing the decision of giving up the sport I dedicated 20 years to try something brand new, not knowing where it would lead. Hi, little guy. Now, it's been 10 years since I first started martial arts. Over the years, I trained a lot of Krav Maga. I also trained heavily in Eskrima with a little bit of boxing, kickboxing, and BJJ on the side. I very quickly gravitated towards the Japanese martial arts. There was just something so cool about the katana, the Japanese sword, and being able to say, hey, I can use that well. That really appealed to me. I spent a lot of my time focused on Krav Maga early on. I wanted to get really good at self-defense, at being able to feel comfortable that I could take care of myself. At the same time, the more weapons training I did and the more Japanese jiu-jitsu, stand-up grappling, the more of that I did, the more I loved it. And really, discovering martial arts started this personal journey through training for me. It was up until then, playing soccer, everything was focused on the team. You sacrifice your body for the team. You play for the team. You win. You lose as a team. And so really, I started to go inwards to discover what it meant to build oneself back up after injuries. What a great evening. Do my bit for the war on weeds while we're here. But nevertheless, there was still a big component for me that was missing. And that was actually doing more strength and mobility work, not just training for a sport, for soccer or for martial arts. My earliest form, an introduction to that, was actually Pilates. So the following year after I hurt my knees, I started Pilates, and that was a big revelation for me. I think that was the first introduction I really had into what it meant to stay a little bit more mobile than most people started to become, right? Incorporating strength, fascial movements, flexibility, these kinds of things. And that held me in pretty good stead, although I did continue to get more injuries because I still wasn't well-rounded, strong enough, or balanced. Nevertheless, in 2019, I graded for my brown belt in Krav Maga, and that was my first huge achievement, right? Brown belts and black belts are pretty big in most martial arts. So that was a big success for me, and it was something that I wanted to build on. And from there, I started to realize that I needed to put these other pieces together to be able to excel. The following year, I got my brown belt in traditional Japanese jiu-jitsu in Danzan Ryu. And then I started heavily jumping into strength training and doing some more flexibility work. I went from not being able to touch past my shins to being able to touch my toes. And then, because of all that work, I felt so well prepared that I aced my black belt Japanese jiu-jitsu grading in Danzan Ryu in 2021. 4 months later though, got COVID. That's where this journey began. In April of 2022, I got long COVID after contracting the virus. Yes, everyone's gonna ask, I had 3 of the Pfizer vaccines, and there's a little spider making a web right in front of me. And personally, anecdotally, it was a combination of all of the exposure to the mRNA that really affected me. Now, I had just about every symptom you can imagine. From April 22 onwards, I had a headache all day, every day, for 15 months. Along with that, I had lightheadedness, induced by exercise, and insane fatigue. The more I would try to do, the worse the headaches would get, the worse the fatigue would get, the worse the lightheadedness would get. For the first 6 months, I could only walk between 5 and 10 minutes at a time before having to sit down and rest for fear of passing out and from sheer exhaustion. It was absolutely brutal. My entire nervous system was totally fried, and I basically had to relearn how to do everything. Loud noises started giving me tinnitus. I had some weird heart problems. I started getting skin spots. Basically, everything you can think of was happening to my body. It was being attacked. Every single organ was being attacked from this virus. There was about 8 months in where things got really tough, where I'd made a bit of progress again, but then I'd crash back down by trying to cycle into work. And I was in bed for basically 3 days, super fatigued, with the beginnings of a cloud of depressing, dark thoughts rolling in. It was tough. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but something within me clicked and realized that, hey, if I don't look at this as a challenge, as an opportunity to overcome and get better, then it's gonna be so easy, and I mean so easy, to just despair and give up and wallow in self-misery and self-pity. And so began the process of building myself back up. I wanted to somehow share and help other people, if possible, who were going through a similar thing. And martial arts was a huge part of that for me, maybe saving my life again. I would show up to the dojo, to a training session, and just do 5 minutes of warm-ups with everyone else, and then sit on the mats for the rest of the session. I decided I needed to put myself together a training program that I could use to calibrate and slowly, incrementally move up and progress through retraining my nervous system while using different movements that I started to do more research on, which were all about athleticism, training tendons, ligaments, range, mobility, something I realized I was sorely beginning to lose, that was deteriorating rapidly through this inactivity as a result of long COVID. So after putting together this strength program at the dojo, I started getting a few questions. You know, what's that movement you're doing? Oh, you look like you're recovering well. How are you recovering well? What are these movements you're doing? It looks like it's working. And so I started to realize that, yeah, there was, a potential market, people that needed some guidance through these sorts of things as well. And so I ran a free beta and I started strength coaching essentially. And then I've been learning more and more about it ever since. And it's been an incredible journey. So if you're interested in hearing about more of the strength training and maybe getting involved in one of the programs, comment down below or send me a message on other socials. So That was in early 2024. And in about October, November of 2023 was when the headaches, the lightheadedness finally started to break. I wasn't waking up every morning with this fog rolling in and the pain levels rising after 2 or 3 seconds after I woke up. And for me, that was the start point. I could start doing things. I started slowly becoming more ambitious, getting some energy back. Now, I'm still not quite there yet, which may be surprising. It's been another year, but I'm a hell of a lot better than I was back then. And progress keeps on coming. And so, really, one final thing before we lose the light this evening. I started to experience joy again. Joy at training, joy at helping other people. I started to realize I have something to offer a lot of people. I've had such unique experiences and challenges to go through that I'm sure some people could benefit from hearing them, even if I only help a handful, hell, one person. So for the first time, I started putting myself out there. Most of my life, I was private, closed off, and it's still something I'm working on. And then we got an opportunity to do a demonstration as a dojo at the local Japanese festival. One of the videos made it back to our sensei in Japan, and he loved it so much, he said, guys, I'd like you to come participate in the annual Budokan demonstration next year with us in Tokyo. I immediately jumped on board because I knew there was a chance, and there still is, because nothing is guaranteed, that we won't be able to participate. They might decide we're not ready, and that's okay. That's another challenge. And that's why I started this new challenge, posting my training every day, trying to do at least something to continue my improvement through long COVID as we head towards Japan. This is my first long form video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic, amazing Christmas and New Year's, and let's go for 2025. It's going to be incredible.